Greetings and salutations from sunny Philadelphia, starting out fresh. So this whole thing happened about, I'd say 3 weeks ago. Basically what happened was I started getting these strikes on my channel. I went through my channel, I scoured everything. I took all the links off. I tried to take any mentions of Kratom out of the videos. But one thing I'm not going to do, or one thing that I wasn't going to do, was change my name. That wasn't happening. And the sad thing is, you guys know that I stuck in with you guys all the way through Ohio. I was one of the first people to really report on it. We talked about everything with Ohio. We talked about the Common Sense Initiative, the comment period, everything. And then for me, not to be able to even make a video about the success in Ohio, it broke my fucking heart. And the thing that really broke my heart was that the videos, the lives that I made about Ohio, a lot of them got taken down before my channel even disappeared. My channel disappeared, I think my channel disappeared yesterday or the day before. So I got this new channel now, Sean Zamorano. I'm gonna be posting every now and again. Do I expect it to grow how the other channel grew? Not really, but I figure every once in a while I can at least stay in touch so you know that I'm still alive, that I'm still okay. Because honestly, I'm disgusted. I'm fucking disgusted by YouTube right now. I can't believe that they would censor something that's saving so many people's lives, first of all. I just can't believe that there's no kind of freedom of speech, especially considering that there are so many videos on there concerning cocaine, heroin, MDMA, research chemicals. There's so much shit out there right now, and they're actually bringing awareness to it in a negative way. They're telling you how to use it. They're doing trip reports that are quote-unquote educational. Now, my channel almost got shut down. Like 2 years ago, I think it was, when everyone almost got shut down. I think even Carpo almost got his channel shut down. A bunch of other people did lose their channels during that. I did appeal. I got my channel back. But after that happens, after all that shit happens, I started basically leaning my channel towards a more educational slant. I stopped doing reviews. I started talking more about Kratom politics. I started talking more about the legality of Kratom, advocacy, things of that nature. And things when I got a big brown spot on my glasses. Looks like a fucking shit stain. It's like oily too. I don't know what it is. Probably something from cleaning this morning. But you know, I started going towards a more educational slant, talking about the politics of Kratom, talking about how we should keep it legal, what kind of wording and verbiage we should use when we're speaking of Kratom. Instead of saying dose, call it a serving size, things of that nature, you know. And it seemed like everything was going to be okay with the channel. It seemed like everything was going to work out okay. But it didn't. And it breaks my heart that it didn't. But honestly, I got a nice page going. You know, that'll probably get shut down too. But I got a nice Facebook page going. It's got over 800 members on it. It's my personal, it's me and Megan's basically website page for Your Leaf, Your Life. But a lot of advocacy stuff gets put out on that page. Thank God we at least have that page. I got 800 people on there, and hopefully it'll keep growing and not get shut down. But the problem is, when you're on any major platform, any major social media platform, you are taking the risk of getting all of your hard work shut down. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm prepared for that to happen to the Facebook page too eventually, because that's just the way it goes. You know, I've had a lot of people say, well, Philly Kratom, why won't you do something on MeWe? Why don't you do something on some of these alternative places? Because the reason I don't do it, honestly, is because none of them really take off. And doing all that hard work for nothing just doesn't make sense to me. If I was Paul Walker or somebody of that nature with a lot of clout, then I would definitely go ahead. I would definitely go ahead and try to get MeWe popping, or, you know, MeWe's got, don't get me wrong, MeWe's got a lot of people on it that are big in the community. I'm just saying, me, with the little bit of clout that I have, I'm not going to get anything popping on them pages that isn't already happening. And to put all that work in for nothing, it just doesn't make sense to me. If I can put out a couple advocacy videos on YouTube, not YouTube, well, on this channel, I guess. Look, let me just put it this way. I'm not going to be putting links in here. I'm not going to be talking too much on the website, at least not for now. I'm not going to be speaking about kratom consumption too much. I'm just going to keep it focused on advocacy and what's going on in my life, because personally, this whole situation sucks, honestly. I don't know. I'm still kind of fucking dumbfounded that this shit happened, to be honest with you. It's a beautiful day out in sunny Philadelphia. Got a little bit of clouds outside today, but Jesus, you couldn't ask for much nicer weather right now. That's for sure. But I'm going to keep putting stuff out on my Facebook page. I'm going to keep putting stuff out on this channel. And let's just speak on what's going on in the community right now. We have a few things going on. You know, Mississippi continues to be embroiled in a lot of controversy, and we still have this one group that's really gunning for Mississippi. And quite frankly, we haven't had enough consumers show up in Mississippi. We haven't had a concerted effort to stop any of this bullshit anywhere. They are trying now to get some bans overturned in Aberdeen, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a little more information on that. Boy, it's beautiful out here. Check this shit out. I don't want to drop my phone. We've got the Gazella down there, a beautiful sailing ship, very old. You see somebody's down there on that barge. They were doing some painting, trying to get that thing together. That thing needs a lot of restoration, and they have a bunch of volunteers that work on some of these ships down here. There's the Ben Franklin Bridge, absolutely gorgeous. And it's just one of them really serene days. The humidity finally broke. It's about 70 degrees out right now with a nice breeze blowing. There's Christ Church, that spire over there. And if you look way over there, downtown is down there. It's pretty far away though. I'm down in Old City, of course. There's the rink, that's the ice rink in the wintertime. Roller skating rink. So it's absolutely gorgeous here in sunny Philadelphia today. But let's talk about, so Mississippi, they're trying to get the ban overturned there, which is great. Aberdeen. And it really takes all the consumers to show up. We saw it in Ohio. We had, I believe, almost 300 people show up in Ohio, which is absolutely amazing. That's a really, really huge number of people to be showing up anywhere. So we have that many people show up there. Then we got Illinois. Illinois, we just had, I think, almost 200 people show up there, maybe more. Maybe it was closer to 250. And they have tabled that ban for now. And of course, the name is escaping me right now. They fought there before. Nina fought there a long time ago, pretty much single-handedly. But Illinois is having another meeting coming up. I believe it's the beginning of September 7th or 9th. And hopefully I can give you more information on that. And the councilmen and the people who make the on me now. It just froze up on me a little bit. The councilmen and the people who make the law in that city, they're wanting the AKA to come and speak with them. So the AKA is going to have to be there. Mac's going to have to be there in order to make that happen. And if my memory serves me correctly, that is one of the largest cities in Illinois. I believe it's the second largest city in Illinois besides Chicago, if my memory serves me correctly. So that's going to be a huge thing if they ban it there. That's going to cause a ripple effect, just like it does in a lot of places. When a major city bans it, or even a town bans it, that starts to catch on like wildfire, because people want to know why. And of course, if these people who make the law are uninformed, it's going to happen again. It's going to spread. And of course, the lawmakers are going to believe the lawmakers. That's why it's so important for us to get out, feet to the ground, boots to the ground, and get out there and educate our lawmakers. I visited a couple of representatives. I've kind of been waiting for fall. Not fall, but right around now. This is when I'm going to start picking it up again. I'm going to start reaching out to some more representatives. I have one that has promised me if anything ever comes down the pipe, he will not ban kratom. He will not make that vote. So I want to go and actually visit him. I've sent him a lot of information. I've sent him a lot of testimonials from people in Pennsylvania, and he's already made me that promise. But I just want to pretty much put the nail in the coffin with him, and really explain to him what it has done for me, and really give him all of the science that's available for this. That's super important. So we have all these things going on right now, and we still got Indonesia, which is, in my opinion, is still up in the air. I do believe in the end there will be some heavy tariffs placed on kratom. I do think it's going to be a little more money for us, which is fine. Right now, I did a poll in my group. What's the most important thing to you when it comes to kratom? Do you want the most potent kratom for the cheapest price? Do you want GMP? Do you want lab testing and GMP packed kratom? Or do you just care about the cheapest you can get? And most people said potency and price are the most important things. And honestly, that just goes to show that the community is very divided as well, because we do have a minority of the people who will not purchase anything from a vendor that is not GMP. They only go with the GMP vendors. And right now, I believe there might be about 10 GMP vendors out of thousands of vendors. Thousands of pop-up vendors, thousands of backpack vendors, and some big vendors as well. So, the community is divided in that sense, but honestly, with these states that are passing the Kratom Consumer Protection Acts, we're going to see more and more vendors become GMP, and eventually the ones that don't want to abide by GMP standards are going to be left in the dust. So it is coming. It's not a tidal wave. It's more like a slow ebb and flow of a tide coming in, and eventually things are going to change radically. It's just not going to happen all at once, but when it starts to snowball and this Kratom Consumer Protection Act kicks in for a lot of different states, vendors are going to have a year, maybe two at the most, to get everything together and become compliant with whatever rules the states are putting in place. Now, some of the states are going to strictly adhere to what the AKA and FDA want. Other states may have different rules, but at the end of the day, everyone has to adhere to the FDA standards at least. And then as far as the MIT count is concerned and things of that nature, that's going to be decided on a state to state. I don't think every state is going to require MIT count, especially on plain leaf kratom. Just doesn't make much sense to me. But I may be wrong. But I do know that federal law says it has to be packed a certain way, it has to be packed in a certain environment, and even though right now a lot of vendors, the majority of vendors are not 100% compliant, more and more are going to have to become compliant. And if I want to stay in the game personally, I'm going to keep working on becoming compliant. That's something we're working on right now, is getting all the batch numbers together and getting a good system in place that mirrors GMP. There's a lot more than just slapping batch numbers on a product, obviously. There's a lot of paperwork that has to be involved every time you pack a number of bags. There's a lot that there's a lot that has to happen. There's a lot that has to happen when you receive that kratom. There's a lot to the way that kratom is stored. There's a lot to it when you have to quarantine something. So there's a lot to it besides just slapping the batch numbers on it, but I figure that's a good start. Batch numbers are absolutely necessary to be able to track something. If somebody gets sick, you have to be able to isolate what they got sick from and figure out if it was from you indeed. Send it back out to the lab. And you're actually supposed to keep 3 samples. I believe it's 2 or 3 samples, one held off site in case you have a fire or something of that nature and gets destroyed, one on site, and maybe one more, but I can't remember. But there's a lot to it, guys, and you know, a lot of people will send their stuff out to get GMP packed. The issue I think a lot of vendors are having right now is they're paying a shitload of money to become GMP. And yeah, it gets their name on the list. So they get a lot of exposure on the AKA website. And that does help with business. It will help the business have an uptick. But all in all, if you don't have a quality, potent product to begin with, and more potent kratom can be found somewhere else, then they're going to go to that spot instead. Most people are going to forego the GMP packed kratom if it is a little bit weaker than the more potent and cheap kratom. That's just the way it is. So, you know, we'll see what the future holds, though. It's just a very interesting dynamic. It's very interesting what people want now, in the here and now. And I think a lot of it has to do with people just aren't getting sick that often. And when they are, they're throwing up for a couple days, maybe at the most, and then they feel better. All it's going to take is one major incident to happen. Another outbreak of people getting very, very sick. And honestly, eventually someone is going to die from contaminated kratom. That's just the way it is. So, you know, all it's going to take is that one outbreak for people to really say, whoa, and really start only going to the GMP vendors. But it hasn't happened yet, so people would rather have the potency and price over the GMP packed and a little more expensive, especially if it's not as strong, because then they don't feel like they're getting a value. People don't look at GMP packed and more expensive as any kind of value. There's only a small minority of people who really feel like safety is number one. Now, my opinion is, if you have an autoimmune disease or something like that, you should probably go with the GMP packed person. They're gonna have the most stringent guidelines. At least they did have the most stringent guidelines when they got inspected. So if they're holding themselves to that same standard that they did when they prepared for inspection, then that's where you're gonna get the safest product. My opinion is GMP is only still a spot check. It's not 100% safe. My opinion is, if you have an autoimmune disorder, you probably shouldn't even take kratom. If it's something that makes you very sensitive to pathogens. If it's some kind of different autoimmune disorder where it doesn't make you sensitive to pathogens, then that's a different story. But what I'm saying is, if you're taking something that comes out of the ground, it's a leaf, and it's ground in a different country, just be careful. Especially if you know that you will get very, very ill if you get these pathogens in your body. And hopefully every vendor out there is doing everything they can to get on board with the GMP, or at least be as close as possible and pack very, very clean. Anyway, I'm kind of ranting, but I'm happy to be back on here. Even if one person watches this, God bless you, because it just makes me feel good to make these videos and kind of keep my finger on the pulse of the community. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys tell your friends that I'm on here again. And hopefully we can get some more videos going. If you guys got any ideas for videos, no, I'm not doing reviews, but if you have any ideas for videos or you want to hear something, please let me know. Reach out to me. Same email as always. I got two now. I got phillykratomofficial@gmail.com, but I really don't read that one. So just hit me up at minesbay@yahoo.com. I've had that one for like 30 years now. No, not 30. I didn't get an email when I was 8. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. And as always, greetings and salutations from sunny Philadelphia. Have a great day.